had typhoid and was very ill, hospitalized, and then came back home and was much better, but the fever remained. And then I was taken to one of the most reputed hospitals, the best reputed hospital in city, and they had given me a whole lot of medicines based on symptoms, because they had taken a lot of tests and all, and they couldn't find anything. So based on symptoms, they gave me a whole lot of medication and then sent me home. So when I came home and taking those medications, I was getting all right in the morning time, and by the evening again I was ill. So my husband was very worried, I was worried, and then my boss was wondering what happened. She's now still not coming to work and all those things. And then finally God sent an angel to me, and in the form of Father Brito, who's a naturopath and homeopath. Surya, I can't see anybody. Yeah, okay. He's from Bombay, who came to our...
Your video is off. I can see everyone except yours.
Okay.
You are on mute. We could not listen you. We could not hear
No,
you.
I'm not on mute,
Okay.
Surya. I'm not able to find my screen
Video.
share, my video.
No issue. We can hear you. Please continue.
Okay. So this is what has happened, and then finally the allopathy doctor had given this huge dose of medicines, and Father Brito came online, and he told me that he told my husband and myself that if she doesn't stop taking the medicine, she'll die, because each organ of hers will stop operating, and then she'll die. And the allopathy doctor said that if you don't take the medicine, you'll die. Even a single day, if you miss the medicine, you'll die. So it was a big confusion, and we didn't know what to do. And then because it was, a priest and all that, and then I spoke to, I prayed, and then I told God that since He's your man, now I have to take a big decision as to whether I should continue with naturopathy and homeopathy. Who Father Brito is, he's a doctor for that. And that's how I got into naturopathy. And he assured me that he will, I'll find difference within 10 days. And amazingly, within 10 days, as the days went by, I really started feeling a big difference. So that is how my journey started towards wellness, and knowing that naturopathy and homeopathy is the kind of thing, not allopathy. But it's not like that we don't have to take any allopathy. Like I'm now on Thyronorm and BP, but in those days I was much younger, so probably the naturopathy worked. But in these days, I don't think it will work, so I don't take a chance, and we have to take these medications. So I'm not saying that you should discontinue all the same, but everything is found within our kitchen, and that's how Father Brito taught us what we are supposed to do. So with this in mind, the entire family and everything, we started following naturopathy, and Father Brito used to monitor everything, and it was that. So it's history now, and for the last 20 years, by God's grace, we haven't the entire family and myself, who was normally a very sickly person, have not faced any major problems. So this is my journey towards wanting to spread the concept of wellness and naturopathy and all that. So now we go to the slides. So now we are talking about what is wellness. Wellness is body, mind, and soul is an expression of human form. Living a life of ease and fulfillment means our body, mind, and emotions are all in alignment, and our inner self is congruent with our outer self. So what is wellness? Unless the body, mind, and soul are in tandem with each other, that is wellness. That is fulfillment. That is bliss. So we'll go one by one. We'll talk about the body. So a healthy body is usually the most common definition for a healthy body is that eating right, exercising, and preventing illness. So what are the three aspects? Three aspects are food, exercise, and sleep. We did exercise, so we know exactly how we are feeling now. Aren't we feeling more refreshed? And the body requires exercise in any case for it to be healthy. So now we'll go to the food part of it. We have a food pyramid over here. And after that, I'll share that with you all. But before that, I want to tell you all that how amazing it is that you put something in your mouth and chew it, and it becomes your body. It becomes your muscle. It becomes your bone. So everything that you take in as food converts into cells and all the body. So what an amazing mechanism the Almighty has created. So I'm saying that it is food which is most important. So we should consciously eat our food. And Surya,
Yeah, we can hear you.
this particular thing is covering my
No,
covering my screen, Surya.
no, you carry on. We can hear you.
No, I can't see. Okay.
Don't worry. If there anything wrong, I'll take care. You please continue.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that when we consume food we buy foods from the market or anything, we should ensure that we buy the right foods. We should read the labels. We should be very sure of what we are going to eat, because it's going to go into your system and it's going to make you healthy. And so what is said is that every rupee you spend is a vote. Exercise your vote consciously. So just like the government, every individual when he places his vote, the government is formed. So in the same manner, if you spend every rupee and then you're spending that rupee on a product that is not good and is going to harm the body, because it is going so much, people will understand, oh, this is a very good product, and that means you're spoiling not only the health of yourself and your family, but all others also, because then the production of the product becomes more and more and people start buying it more and more. So exercise your what must I say? Exercise your votes correctly, in the sense, use your money consciously and buy the right products. That is what I say. And then think of meal times not as a chore or a feast, but instead of as an opportunity to nourish your body, because your body is a temple, and so you need to nourish your body for you to have wellness, which is very, very important. And then I would like to go to the food pyramid. The food pyramid that I put here is from Ireland, but it's so beautifully given. Yeah. So what I would suggest to you all is to just take a print out and put it on your, refrigerator or your door or something, so that children also can start knowing what food they are supposed to eat. Here it's clearly saying that your major part of your food should be vegetables, salads, and fruits, and then wholesale cereals and breads and all that. So when it is cereals and breads and all, here they have given a lot of unhealthy carbohydrates like potatoes, pasta, rice, and all that. So in my next sheet, I've given supplements for these. So you can use that and check out and choose the right things to eat and the quantities. So this table gives you a clear indication. The thing that really, took my attention was the oil that one has to have. It says just 1 teaspoon of oil per person. Whereas in Telangana and Andhra, there's, my God, any amount of oil we use to make our food. So one has to cut down on oils, and depending on what age group you are, it's given over here. So basically, what I'm saying is that you make sure that you eat the right foods, lots of vegetables, salads, and fruits, carbohydrates, good carbohydrates, which I'll share in the next sheet, and milk, yogurt, and all. I don't have milk and yogurt because I'm lactose intolerant. But if you all have, you all can have, but to a less quantity, as is mentioned, because we can't tell everybody how much they can have. But for adults, it is a much lesser. There's only 3 servings, 2 servings. So have that kind. And then meat and poultry means protein. So vegetarian people have their own, beans and lentils and all to take care of that. And fats, be very clear about what you're going to use for your fats. Ghee is very good, and unsaturated fats are bad. Then you can have ghee, you can have cold pressed oils, coconut oil is very good. So incorporate all these things in your diet because it's going into your system, it's making you. So you're going to be healthy and you're going to. So these pyramids and data that is given to us is studied by all. A lot of doctors, and then only it's put out. So it's clear, it's given to us so easily. So let us and let our children start looking at this, and then let them decide what they want to eat and make it. So make it a part of your, family affair, so that everybody is healthy in the family. Then when you go from the food to the next slide, I told you that I've given the supplements for the unhealthy carbohydrates and all. So white foods are normally generally referred to the foods that are white in color and that have been processed and refined, like flour, rice, pasta, and all that. So you can supplement white rice with brown rice or any type of millet, then maida with wheat flour, corn flour, ragi. These all are so good. So you just have to include these. They're not very tasty in the beginning, but you develop a taste for it and you'll start enjoying it. And more than anything, you'll be healthy. So this is what you need to do. And sugar, the worst thing that one can eat is sugar. So supplement it with jaggery and maple syrup and honey. And you'll be surprised that in our home we have jaggery tea, which is anybody may laugh at it, but we do that. So we have given up full sugar and maida and everything. In any case, I don't eat wheat and wheat products, so it is the same. Leon and the others, my children also, some of them don't eat. Now, if you talk about salt, you can have pink Himalayan salt. Earlier there was this hype about iodized salt and all that, but now today the dietitians and the nutritionists and all are saying that you must use pink Himalayan salt. So go out and buy that. And then you replace milk with almond milk, cashew nut milk, coconut milk. Coconut milk is very good. And I remember somebody in my friend saying that, the doctor has said not to have coconut milk because it's bad for cholesterol. But a few days ago when Dr. Barla's friend, one of his contacts, he said that anything that is grown is very good. So check with your doctor and have coconut milk. And the new concept that is not concept, it is the new food that has come out now and very particular about all dietitians, nutritionists, doctors, everybody is talking about probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria and yeast that are good for you, especially your digestive system. We usually think of these as germs that cause diseases, but your body is full of bacteria, both good and bad. Probiotics are often good and helpful bacteria because they help keep your gut healthy. So along with this probiotics, everybody now, if you want to lose weight, if I know of a person who's lost 30 kgs weight, and I was listening to one of his interviews, and the nutritionist was saying that we took care of his gut health. She concentrated so much about his gut health because the gut health, the gut becomes leaky, it seems, because of all the unhealthy foods that we eat. So when you have probiotics and fermented foods and all, your gut health is very good, and you are healthy, and you remain your excretion is good, and because whatever you may do, the excretion part from the excretion process from the body is very, very important. So the gut health is very important because it refers to the balance of microorganisms that live in the digestive tract. Looking after the health of the gut and maintaining the right balance of these microorganisms is vital for physical and mental health, immunity, and more. So when you're talking about immunity, especially in these days today, with COVID and all that, and all of us who are above the age of 60, we need to build our immunity. So it is very important that we include probiotics and fermented foods in other thing. The simplest probiotic, which is India's greatest and superfood, is yogurt and pickles. So incorporate all of these. I'm sure all of you already having all of that. Have lots of idli, dosa, anything that is fermented. So that's good for your health and good for your gut health. Then we go forward. I've added all these pages on food because I want you to know that how important these things are. We tend not to take care of these things, but it is very important. These few small things you practice and you'll be healthy. So then the best time to eat your food, okay, your meals, is breakfast time is between 7 and 8, because the whole of the night, and then if you have your dinner at about 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then there's a big gap. So you have to have your breakfast. The best time is between 7 and 8, because breakfast is the most important meal of the day, giving your brain and body the energy it needs to function before beginning your daily tasks. So why would you not want to have a good breakfast? If you're going to start your day with no breakfast, and then you're not able to have a good start, then there's no meaning. So better to have your breakfast. Many people don't have breakfast, but start having breakfast, very important. Then your lunch between 12 and 2, and there should be a 4-hour gap and all that. And dinner between 6 and 8. I would say between 6 and 7. Because now here I want to say about a guru who had come to our office and during yoga, on yoga day, and he gave us he said these 3 things you'll just follow and you will be healthy. So he said, no rice in the morning, no rice in the night, no curd in the morning, no curd in the night. And between 12 and 2, you can eat anything under the sun and it will get digested. And from 2 onwards, you should take very light food, because when the sun is above you, your metabolism works very well and the digestive process goes on very well. And when the sun is going down, the metabolism doesn't work. The metabolic rate goes down, and the body doesn't digest the food properly. So better to have very light food and then have your dinner at maximum 7 o'clock in the evening. And then how to drink water. I don't want to go through this table. You all can see it later. But the simplest thing is, as soon as you wake up in the morning, 2 glasses of warm water. Before you go for your shower, 1 glass of water, so that your BP is under control, your blood pressure is under control. Before your meal, half an hour before your meal, 1 glass of water. After your meal, 1 hour after your meal, 2 glasses of water, and thereafter. And a lot of water and liquids in the morning, but towards the evening and night, less of water. So this is simple. And one more very important thing is not to drink water standing. So when you stand, the water doesn't go into the digestive tract, it goes directly into the urinary tract. And the water is not able to give all the minerals that is required for the digestion. So it's not good for health also. It's not good for the kidneys. So That one thing must remember, that always sit when you're drinking water. Never stand and drink water. Because when we stand and drink water, we are in a hurry and we just stand and drink water, but just sit down. So these are the few things that you have to, it's so simple. Just do it from, on a daily basis. It becomes a habit. Then we go to some home remedies. These are all in the food part of it. Home remedies that are tried and tested in my family. So if you have fever, it'll immediately stop. You have to immediately stop non-veg, milk and milk products, and include liquids, vegetable soup, solid, semi-solid food, and everything hot and direct from the stove. No oils. This you can do for any kind of ailment you have. You're feeling very uneasy in your stomach. You're not feeling up and about. Immediately stop these things, and you'll start feeling better. And fever will definitely go over a period of time. But you have to start doing that. And cough and cold, you can have onion and jaggery syrup. Just cut the onion, put it there, put some jaggery. The syrup that comes out, just give it. My grandchildren are always on these kind of things, and so we don't take any medication. I haven't taken a Crocin, or I don't think any in my family have taken a Crocin for the last umpteen number of years. And then cough, ginger and honey syrup, diarrhea, it's couscous. Couscous is poppy seeds in your kitchen. With 1 teaspoon of that with sugar, just chew it up nicely, drink a glass of water, and your diarrhea is under control. Flatulence and burning, you take a spoon of jeera. So these are all the jeera, chew it up nicely, drink a glass of water, you feel much better. These are all simple things, but you don't need to run to a doctor. You don't need to pop a pill. So please do all these things. And I wanted to put this all into this presentation so that it's like a journal for you all. And you all can refer to it whenever you will have problems. The knee pain, of course, it's what Mr. Maliwal sent me, and I wanted to share with you all because all of us are in the age group of 60 and above, so most of us rather. So we can use this as a. Then we go to the next slide, and this is I've included this also because it's from the World Health Organization. It says 7 big brain damage, 7 biggest brain damaging habits. It is alarming, missing breakfast is the biggest brain damaging habit. And then sleeping late, that's one of the worst things. And I have to correct myself. Whatever I may do, I may get onto the bed at 10 also in the morning, but 10 in the evening, but
You went on mute, huh? Or you stopped talking?
I'm still, and high sugar consumption. And I didn't know about this eating your meal while watching TV and or computer. I thought sometimes we just want to watch. So these things, yes, you please follow. And then we go to the next slide. Then we are talking about exercise. Now, exercise, I already told you why we did the exercise, because without exercise, your body will not absorb the, you become like a vegetable. We always say that somebody is not well, they are like a vegetable. No, we also become vegetables when we don't exercise, because the whole body becomes stagnant. Your cells stop operating. You have to work out so that your cells start doing their jobs. So make sure that exercise is in your, and you'll feel really very good. You just try it every day for 10 minutes, then go to 20 minutes, then slowly you will start enjoying it. I also started now because we are in this COVID times, and otherwise I do some walks and all that, but exercising specific parts of the body and all, it's so different and it's so lovely. So this yoga is the oldest form of exercise born in India. So let us take advantage of all these wonderful things that are available in India, which is born in India, and the culture, the traditions, so many things. We have so many gurus who have studied and brought us these things and given it to us on a platter. Let us follow it. And breathing, without breathing, the next breath you don't take, you're dead. So unconsciously, we just breathe whatever we want. I mean, shallow breathing. Every time I remember Mr. V.R. Pirao, may his soul rest in peace. I remember him every time he sees me. Are you doing deep breathing? Mr. C.S. Rao, he just propagates. He's so passionate about it. We have so many people telling us we are so lucky. But as children, we never had that. And as we grew up, we didn't have that. So today's children, share it with your children, make them understand, carry it to them. let all your, I'm very happy to say that my children have started, because of Father Brito, we learned a lot of stuff and they're doing it. And they feel healthy. And so let us take a few minutes every day to turn on one of the videos and see. There are a lot of videos which show us, and deep breathing is one of the best ways to lower stress in the body. This is because when you breathe deeply, it sends a message to your brain to calm down and relax. What more does anybody want, Because when we are agitated and, uh, we can do anything, we can say anything, we can harm somebody. So just when you're feeling that way, just calm down, breathe deeply, and you'll be surprised that you'll change your mood completely. So we go to the next slide. And sleep. Sleep is very, very important. How amazingly the God has created us that during sleep there is healing going on within. While we are awake, he knows that we are all busy and we are so agitated, so nothing can happen. So he has made a process that while we are sleeping, we'll heal and repair the heart and blood vessels. And I've heard of different parts, certain time, amazing creation. So get those 7 hours of sleep so that next morning you're not disturbed, you're not distracted, you're not irritated with anybody. Sleep is so important. Sleep also affects emotions and social interactions. You snarl at somebody, you get irritated, you're not prepared for the day. All these things happen if you don't sleep. So please ensure that you get the right sleep. And then I've taken Sadhguru's tips for restful sleep. I've jotted it down when I'm listening to him. So he says 3 to 4 hours, eat 3 to 4 hours before sleep, because if you don't do that, then you'll have bad dreams, you'll be tossing and turning around, your body may become bloated, you'll feel bloated, all those things. So just follow these gurus that, they've studied a lot, and that's how then he says have a shower. So unless you have your food 3 to 4 hours before, you cannot have a shower, because you can't have a shower, have your meal and go for a shower. That's very bad. It can even kill you. So then he says light a lamp. So the serenity with the lamp just burning over there, you'll get proper sleep. He says don't put your head to the north. For Indians, don't put your head to the north, and for Australians, because of the what to say attitude, what is it, latitudes and all that, you put your head to the south.
Chris,
So just blindly follow.
Christina madam, we need to conclude in 2-3 minutes.
2-3 minutes.
11:20.
Okay, we'll.
Otherwise, it will get extended beyond 11:40. We need to take opinion, question and answer session.
I have another at least 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll ask Mr. Doble.
Yeah.
It's only 11:18, yeah.
Sir, 11:40, this session will also conclude, sir.
So 11:40 means still 20 minutes are there.
Sir, we have to.
So she's saying she wants only 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir. Okay. Sir.
10-15 minutes, Sevan. That's
Okay.
it. Yeah. So we go ahead with these tips. Please refer to this. This is a little journal for you all that I've made. And it says one of the simplest things that health is just to use the body. If you use the body sufficiently, it has everything to create health for itself. So everything is created by the God for us to do. And so I'll just go ahead now. And now the most important thing is your mind. I want to share with you, last night I just couldn't get sleep, maybe because, I said I was super excited that I want to share my knowledge with you all. And, so probably because of that, my mind was just working, and I was trying to tell it, no, come on, go to sleep. It just didn't listen to me. And that is because you have not trained your mind. Okay. So now with meditation, probably you will start training your mind. So, but the mind is so important. So a healthy mind is, you may be the biggest fitness fanatic who concentrates on eating, healthy eating and regular exercise. But if you are not, your mind is not at peace, then there will surely be lapses in your, 1 second, please. Yeah. But if you are not mentally at peace with yourself, then there will surely be lapses in your efforts towards leading a healthy life. Our day-to-day lives are fast-paced and full of stresses that we constantly wage a battle against. Keep an eye out for your mental health. So what I want to say is that the three aspects for mental health is gratitude. How many of us just take our near and dear ones for granted? They cook your meal, they get your clothes washed, ironed, get your tiffin ready for. Have you ever told them thank you? Are you ever grateful to your maids, to whoever helps you in life? That is one of the practices you should start. And I've put a journal on the next sheet, which you all can do. Every day that you should write that journal and write 3 things that you're grateful for and all that. So we go ahead with that, and I'm very grateful for so many things. So if you tell me to say gratitude list, I'll maybe have 100. So just like that, but we don't take that time out to gratify our own and also whoever helps us. And the second thing about the mind is goal orientation. What is goal orientation? You have to be prepared for everything in life. You have to be proactive. You have to be punctual. You have to be disciplined. You have to have your to-do list. You have to revisit it from time to time. It is only then that your mind starts getting that comfort and all that, because you're already prepared. You're doing your part of your bit, so your mind is enjoying that part, and you start becoming successful because you're disciplined, you're being everything is falling in line for you. So obviously your mind is having some good effect on your body and your soul. Then we can go to meditation. What is meditation? I had given you this thing of meditation for 1 minute. How many of you have done it? How many of you were able to do it? It is difficult because it is a practice. You have to start practicing. So one after the other, you have to start doing 1 minute, then 2 minutes. It gives a lot of comfort. It gives a lot of peace to the mind. So here I told you about the journal of gratitude. So 3 things are there I'm grateful for. Any of you want to share 3 things that you all are grateful for?
You can unmute and say if anyone want to share.
First one is
Okay.
for this presentation itself, Christine.
Thank you. I want to give my 3 so that you all can say. I'm grateful that I'm alive today. I'm grateful that I have a wonderful family. My husband and my children are the greatest gift, and I'm so grateful to God for that. And the third thing I'm grateful for is that today I'm here, and you all have given your time to listen to me. So I'm able to share about wellness of the mind, body, and soul. And if at all I'm able to impact you all a little bit also, I'll be very happy and grateful. So these are my 3 gratefulness, grateful things that I have to say. Like that, you all can daily do a journal, which will help you all to. I'm just rushing with everything. So then gratitude is over, and then you have goal orientations. I told you. As Napoleon Hill, one of the American authors, a well-known author, said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. How amazing is that? That means whatever you want, just think about it and you can do it. That's what he's saying. And they don't just say it. They've gone through studies and all that, and they're saying it. And then Tony Robbins says 80% is psychology and 20% is fundamental. So even more better. So train your mind to ensure that you reach success. And then there are some actionable steps which you can do. I would just want to read the first one. It says, believe in ourselves and be confident in our abilities. That is basically what one has to do. And one more thing is surround yourself with people who uplift you, because when people don't make you feel good, then obviously your potential is, your mind starts becoming very sad, and you lack confidence then. So don't get caught up in things. This is very important. Don't get caught up in things that you don't matter to you and don't affect you. Negative in, negative out. Positive in, positive out. Be careful what you feed to your mind. It's exactly what I'm telling. So we go ahead with the other thing. And meditation I told you about. It's a clear thing that meditation isn't about becoming a different person, a new person, or even a better person. It's about training in awareness and getting a healthy sense of perspective. You're not trying to turn off your thoughts or feelings. You're learning to observe them with judgment. Exactly what I told you about when you're buying food from out. You don't buy burgers and pizzas and all that because you know that it's wrong, it's unhealthy. The same way you have to. So when you meditate and when you sing, your mind starts taking all these things into consideration. And eventually you may start to be better, start to better understand them as well. So meditation is very important to calm your mind and help you to learn how to, handle life. And it calms your mind so much that if you're agitated with somebody, you tend to be friends of that somebody again. So please include meditation in your lives. And learning to meditate is really another skill. So you have to start doing it on a regular basis. And there are a number of videos you can go and start doing it. And Sadhguru is one of the gurus who propagates meditation very, very strongly. He says the only thing that stands between you and your well-being is a simple fact. You have allowed your thoughts and emotions to take instructions from the outside rather than within. How very true is that? So the outside world matters to you more, whereas from within itself, you can heal yourself and be calm in everything. So don't allow the outside world to affect you so much. Then we go to the most important part of my presentation, which is the soul. Soul is the ultimate in your life. If your body and mind is in tandem with each other, then the soul comes to play. And here, once again, we have gratitude. So a healthy soul, an often neglected aspect of health, usually confused with being religious or indulging in magical mumbo jumbo. Health can be holistic only when we consider being healthy in all three aspects: mind, body, and soul. Spiritual health is a very subjective issue. It caters to our souls and helps us find peace and purpose in life. A healthy soul paves the way for a healthy and happy life. And I want to read this also. It's such a beautiful word and brings some sort of peace the moment you say soul. Words like soul, joyful, they are such wonderful words: peace, love. Once you say them, automatically your soul feels so much more enriched. So, is soul the inner you? Is soul your conscience? Is your soul you? These are questions that cannot be answered by me, but I'm here to talk about maybe bringing some wellness to the soul. I cannot explain much about the soul as I'm not a guru. But if the soul is, as they say, if the soul, as they say, is connected to getting rid of the bad within your life, I'm sure I can impact some knowledge that I have gained in my life so far. And it is these three. We are lucky to have been born in India because our traditions in India have a strong connection with soul, Atman, Atma, Ruh, etc. It's got so many names that they all mean the same thing. There are a few aspects within our life that we can indulge in that have some sort of wellness for the soul. Like gratitude, I've already covered. Integrity. Without integrity, there's no purpose in life, trust me. Whether it's your home, whether it's your office, integrity is the main part of any business, of any life. If you're not honest with yourself, if you're not honest with people, then how will your mind be at peace? How will your body function? When your mind is not at peace, you will not eat well, you will not know which foods to choose. So without integrity is one of the most important aspects of life. So that is total honesty. And then you have peace and you have love. Peace, you get peace only when the soul is healthy, when the when the mind is calm, when the mind is doing what you want it to do, when you've trained your mind to do things and be successful, when your body is healthy. So all these come, and then you get peace. And when you get peace, it is your inner self, it is an amazing feeling, because uh, nobody can disturb you then. Nobody can disrupt your inner peace. Nobody can uh, make you feel uncomfortable. So peace is very important. And love, of course, love is, so many expressions of love. You have love for your partner, you have love for your family, your children, your colleagues, your friends, you have love for people on this group. So it is, in so many ways, God has made this possible. All this creation, what I'm saying, is so amazing. Let us, and when we are talking about love, I want to say about Jesus Christ over here. In Christianity, Jesus Christ tells us, love thy neighbor as thyself. Is it possible? It's so difficult. So when the soul is, at its ultimate happiness, it is exactly what you'll do. Because man is made selfish. We are made selfish. We love ourselves. So when you start loving your neighbor as yourself, that is the ultimate. So this is what I want to say about love. And I have explained about all the four aspects of love. You all can read it later. I've covered it already. And before I end, I want to tell about my children. My eldest daughter, who is in Hyderabad, what do they feel about wellness, and how they are trained about wellness. My eldest daughter is married to my nephew, who is Mario. My daughter's name is Leona, and they have a 13-year-old daughter, my granddaughter. And Mario and my granddaughter have become vegetarians. And my eldest daughter has no choice but to have vegetarian, but she makes very healthy food like millets and seeds and nuts and all that, because she ensures that her family gets the nutrition. And then I have my daughter in UK, Chris, and she's married to Amit. Chris and Amit are into a paleo diet, and they also eat very healthy, and they are into probiotics, and they make their own kombucha, and so they are also very, very health conscious. And then I have my son. I forgotten to tell about my husband Leon. He's a super. What must I say? A whole wellness freak. When we were taking Father Brito's medicines, and that naturopathy and all that, when we had to only talk to him on the phone because he's in Bombay, and the children would have high fever, and he's just listening on the phone and doing the decoctions, and I would be crying in the kitchen saying that, no, you need to, take them to the doctor and something. And within 3 days, my children used to be well again, and the fever would not come back for months on end. So that is how he is, so staunch about naturopathy and homeopathy and all that. And I have my son, who's a Maha Guru and what must I say, naturopath. Um, he is beyond. He has become a vegetarian, though he makes non-veg food for his daughter, because Maya is a New Zealander, and so he practices so much, because he doesn't give. If she has fever, it is only the onion with jaggery syrup, and then cold. She has ginger and honey. So he just doesn't give her a single pill. And that's it. And make sure that she has rest and she's at home. She doesn't go to play school. He's like a guru himself now, and he's a great fan of Sadhguru. And I would like to end this. I'll complete Sadhguru's quote because it is so good, and it encompasses my entire presentation. It says the whole effort of the spiritual process is to break the boundaries you have drawn for yourself and experience immensity that you are. So God has created us with full immensity, whether it's healing, whether it is training the mind, whether it is acquiring wellness of the soul and getting peace and gratitude, love, everything. We have to just practice it. And I'll end this presentation of mine. I'm sorry I took a lot of time. I'll end this presentation with
I shared a third link to all of you in this thing. Please join back with that. Now it may end abruptly in 1 minute or 2 minutes. Please continue.
Okay, I'll just finish. I'd like to leave you with a wonderful sentence that my son always tells me. And I was wondering, since he's here, can we ask him to say it?
Yeah, please.
Lionel, would you do that for me?
We say that we are not human beings going through a temporary spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings going through a temporary human experience.
So that is so amazing. Thank you, son. And with this, I would like to end my presentation. And I don't know if anybody has questions. I have this presentation for you. I've tried to do all the best I could. I hope you all liked it. And Surya, I need to show my face to people.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
You
the
take away
screen.
stop the share
Stop
screen.
sharing the
Yeah.
screen, but it will end in a few seconds. Please
Okay.
join back. I have shared the link.
I'm sorry, people. I took a lot of your time.
we-
I hope you liked the presentation.
But we are still not able to